go, Tracy. This is Will.
How you doing?
Hey.
What's up, Tracy?
And he's doing our tour for you.
This is the St. Louis Cathedral. It's the oldest cathedral in North America. Built in 1755. Also, this building right here is also very, very old. It's the Cabildo. It's where they signed the Louisiana Purchase.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's also Jackson Square. We're going to go around the front of it so you can see the actual statue of Andrew Jackson.
Fantastic. So here we are, love. We are actually in the French Quarter now.
The very center of it.
There you go, the very centre. And as you can see, the weather is a lot better than it was on Tuesday afternoon.
I wish a hurricane would come about once a week if it felt like this all the time. The gumbo shop. That's the best gumbo in the city that's not at my house. And let's see here.
Yeah, when I saw the options the other day, I think Monday I was in the city, it was really hot.
Oh yeah.
And there was like the humans and the donkeys, and there was one poor donkey loaded up with about 8 fat Americans, and I thought, no, we're not doing that to an animal.
Yeah, and
I don't mind doing it to a human.
Also there's it's a little bit not as intimate, I guess you'd say, whenever you're in those carriages.
Yeah.
So this right here is Royal Street. It's I'd say it's the second most famous street in the world. It's behind Bourbon Street, obviously. And it's known for its art galleries, different kind of clothing stores, a lot of street buskers playing music on the street. That's when it started, and a lot of artists outside just trying to sell their paintings. Musicians, just all kind of street performers just stay on Royal Street. That's just what it's always been known for, a couple hundred years. If you want to get a shot of all this wrought iron.
Oh wow, look at that.
So, there's actually a misconception that the French Quarter, this is all French architecture, this is all Spanish architecture.
Wow.
Because in the early 1800s, the city was owned by the Spanish, but it was still called the French Quarter, and the whole French Quarter burnt to the ground. So the Spanish rebuilt it.
Yeah.
So they built it with all their architecture. That's why you see all this iron work. They actually had to get that shipped in from Spain. Anytime they had that, they wanted to put that on balconies. So that all came from Spain. They had to get it shipped over and get it specifically made in Spain.
See, there's an art gallery there. Lush. Advertisement.
This building, they're redoing this building. It just got into the New Orleans Historic Society.
This thing ain't running. Hold on.
Hey, you know what, Tracy? There's another solar eclipse in 2024. So if you do the math and work out the weeks between now and 2024 and how much you'd have to save to come over here.
Texas is where you want to go for that one.
Texas. I was in Missouri for the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, in St. Louis, and the next one is going to be there again as well. It's one city in America that crosses,
This is our Supreme Court of Louisiana. It's also the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals. Had a lot of big laws have come through there that have been looked at, such as immigration policies, homosexual marriage, all kinds of different things.
Oh my gosh, look at the cute little cars! Oh, the little police thing. Oh, police station.
Yeah, actually, if you go to jail in the NOPD, they'll sell you a T-shirt. They have a.
Oh, that's awesome.
They have a merchandising department for the.
NCIS.
Yeah. See, This right here is Hotel Monteleone. It's one of the most famous hotels in New Orleans. So on top of it, you look up there, they built these giant bungalows on top of it. And so it has original architecture with these Spanish, like almost like a you know what they're called. It's like that, almost like a Mediterranean style bungalows on top of it that you rent.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a bar downstairs of the Hotel Monteleone. It's called the Carousel Bar.
Yeah.
And it spins while you're sitting in it. You sit at the bar and it spins just slow enough to where you don't notice, but the more drinks you have, the more confusing you get as you you have a beer and then you look up and you're on the other side of the room and you don't really understand why.
Yeah, Sky City in New Zealand, which is a needlepoint tower. The restaurant at the top of that spins.
It can be very disorienting.
And in a wind it sways by about 2 meters.
I don't know if I can pull that at all.
I notice there's not a lot of grass in New Orleans. Is that
Not
because it
downtown.
would grow too fast?
Not downtown.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go uptown or to City Park or up around Mid-City, there's a ton of grass.
Right. Yeah, because I'm house sitting in the Bywater. And
Yeah, there's not much grass.
no, and is it because it would grow too fast in this temperature and you'd have to mow it every day?
Yeah, and also people just don't have I think people just have such small yards because in the Bywater houses are so close together
Yeah.
that people probably just don't even mess with it.
Yeah.
But whenever you go uptown, Lower Garden District, you'll see a lot more yards.
Right. Yeah.
But see, the French Quarter and the Bywater and the Marigny are some of the most condensed areas in the city. So it's hard for people to have. That's why I don't think I can ever live in the Bywater. It's just so you turn around and you're in your neighbor's bathroom.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful. I know that.
Yeah, the houses are just gorgeous. I mean, you could take a photo of every single one of them and put it on the wall.
Is this just my number? Right?
Yeah, I did manage to get a tour on the river on the first day I was here.
Oh, on the USS Natchez? I mean, on the Steamboat Natchez?
Yeah.
That whole boardwalk. They have awesome festivals, have awesome music.
Oh.
It seems like, New Orleans is kind of known for having a festival every weekend, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're on house sitting. They've got a list of festivals on the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
And it had Mardi Gras season from, whenever it was. And I mean, I always just thought it was like one weekend.
Nope, it is almost a whole month.
Yeah.
And there's parades every single week. And to tell you the truth, I always have a lot more fun in the earlier parts of Mardi Gras because you have like smaller parades,
Right.
and it's not 300,000 people,
Yeah.
not, clamoring for these. You have more intimate parades.
Yeah, I imagine you need to book your accommodation well in advance.
Oh yeah. But to tell you the truth, my favorite time down here is Jazz Fest. If anything, Jazz Fest is the best time.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to the Howling Wolf on Sunday night and saw the Hot 8 Brass Band because I've seen them play in New Zealand and in Australia. So that was really, and I mean, the last place I saw them, there was 10,000 people there. And then I come here and I'm in this little bar with like 50 people.
Yeah, they play there every Sunday.
It's so different, yeah.
That's the same thing with Rebirth Brass Band. Rebirth Brass Band plays every Tuesday at the Maple Leaf, and they travel around the entire world playing for thousands of people. And then you go down there on Tuesday night, and just the regular people, they just go
Yeah,
dance.
yeah.
Francis Bienville. He founded the city of New Orleans. Why he's surrounded by Native American, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he probably murdered a lot of Native Americans.
Yeah.
So, you know, he kind of looks like that. He kind of looks like a conqueror a little bit. I guess he is though.
It seems to be a very multicultural city now.
Very much.
Yeah, there's people from everywhere. And they're so friendly. Everyone walks past you on the street and waves. I'm like, maybe it's because I look like a tourist.
So Johnny's Po' Boy right there, that was where the first po' boy was served in Florida. The first po' boy was actually served on St. Claude, kind of like near the Bywater. But they call it Johnny's Po' Boy was the first actual one that was served in French Quarter.
The first which?
First po' boy. You know what po' boy is?
No.
Po' boy is New Orleans style sandwich. They get it on French bread, and they usually put roast beef, seafood, things like that.
Yeah.
They put it on this very, very dry French bread. Liedenheimer. It is a local. You'll see the trucks going everywhere. Everybody uses Liedenheimer bread. But so po' boy was invented back in the early 1900s because they had these musicians and workers that would want a sandwich, but they'd have to put it in their lunchbox or their guitar case, things like that. And but they'd make the bread very dry, almost stale. Wow. So by the end of the day, all the juices from the meats and everything would be soaked into the bread, and it wouldn't be very soggy. It'd just be like a normal sandwich.
Oh, okay.
And it was very cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Hence the name. Po' boy comes from poor boy.
Poor boy.
Yeah.
Well, unless they do a gluten-free option, I won't be able to try it.
They got gluten-free muffaladas down in the French market. I don't know where there's none. I might be able to find you a gluten-free po' boy.
My boat over there, we cruised on the other day. Very good. Love music.
This little compound out here, it's like it's a shopping center now, but it used to be the Jackson Brewery. Jackson Brewery was like one of the more popular beers in New Orleans. They had Jackson, they had Dixie beer.
Yeah.
And then they had one more, and I can't remember the name of it, but most of them, except for Dixie's, the only one that's come back. But there was a giant fire in 1987, and they stopped making the beer, and they turned it into a shopping center and tourist destination. And actually, from a lot of the old timers, a lot of them say it's probably for the best that they quit making it because they said it was disgusting.
Yeah, I took a photo of it the first day because I got a friend called Jax at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're at the back of Jackson Square now. We started off there earlier so you can hear that jazz band that I showed you. Or did it if I haven't posted that video first. Now look, see the poor horses and donkeys? Like, imagine what, 3, 6, 9, imagine 12 fat Americans on there and that poor horsey or donkey pulling the whole load. You know, I've just got one little human here.
So this is Jackson Square, named after Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, there's a lot of things named for Andrew Jackson in New Orleans. He actually never lived here. He's from Tennessee. He stayed here for about 2 weeks one time. But the reason everybody loves him is because he won the giant Battle of Orleans to basically seal the victory for the USA during the Revolutionary War. So he kind of won. He stopped the encroaching British from taking over New Orleans. So all the people from New Orleans loved him.
Right.
And then, I think he was the 3rd president of the United States. So they built these statues for him. A lot of people don't know is that everybody plays music and enjoys the park, but back in the day, they used to hang people in the middle of Jackson Square.
Oh, really? Oh, creepy. Ugh.
They'd go, confess all their sins in St. Louis Cathedral, and then go out back and they'd hang criminals, runaway slaves,
oh my
Native
God.
Americans.
Oh, that's icky.
Cafe du Monde. Cafe du Monde. One of the more famous establishments in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Make beignets.
The original.
Can't really go to New Orleans and not go to Cafe du Monde. It's kind of like going to Seattle and not going to the Space Needle, things like that.
Yeah, I've done that. Gone to Seattle and not going to Space Needle. We were short on time. Catching up with the relatives was more important. Especially when my cousin's one of the 13 top hotel chefs in America and did a degustation meal at Cedarbrook Lodge. That was spectacular.
So we're going up on French Market. French Market is one of the oldest open-air markets in all of America.
Wow, cool.
It has the name French Market, but it was actually mainly starting in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. Was run by all the Italians. There's a big Italian culture down here. A lot of Italian food. A lot of people come down here and they think of French food and they think of Creole food, but a lot of people don't think about the Italian influence that came down here. The muffalata, which is like a staple New Orleans sandwich. One of the things we're known for is actually an Italian dish, and that's one of the original and first ones ever made. It was right there in Central Grocery.
Oh, yeah.
Muffalata is basically just a sandwich with olive spread on it, has different kind of meats.
Yeah, the first day I went into Roos's Market, I nearly died at the prices, and I'm from New Zealand, so the next day I caught the bus to Walmart.
And then that's the statue of Joan of Arc. It was donated by the people of France in 1976.
This is one of the best things about New Orleans. It's just live music everywhere. I mean, this is a Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it is today, in the off season. Yoo-hoo, the French Market.
If you ever come back and if you ever need a good place to eat, Coop's Place, one of my favorite places.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've travelled a lot of the states. New Orleans just went straight to the top of my favourite city list.
It's my favorite place.
Just love it.
I was thinking about
You born and raised?
I'm from Louisiana. I'm more from Cajun country around Lafayette.
Right.
I was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But I've been living here for about 4 years now. But I've been coming here my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the accent.
Yeah. This is another very old building. It's where all the nuns used to come. They'd walk down every day from St. Louis Cathedral. That's where they lived at.
The Ursuline nuns were the first women sent to New Orleans. The Ursuline sisters were sent over here in 1727.
Look at all those fools back there having to walk themselves around. Me, I'm just sitting here in the lap of luxury.
What peasants.
What peasants, absolutely. I should be doing the Queen's wave to people who go past. Queen's wave.
Okay, I got another spot. We'll go see the oldest bar in America.
Ooh, this bar. I bet that's got some stories to tell.
Oh yeah. So where you start getting into the more quiet residential parts of the French Quarter.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite parts.
Yeah, I'm not much of a nightlife person anymore, but definitely have to come down and do a Friday or Saturday night here.
Yeah. It's always nice, like I said. If you ever get a chance to come down for Jazz Fest, the entire city just feels, you don't even have to go to Jazz Fest. Every year I see some of the most amazing musicians. I was sitting at a bar. One time they had a rain out and you know, Stevie Wonder walks on stage. So, I mean, you just never know.
Wow. Yeah, the music festival I went to in St. Clair, one of my favourite musicians from Hawaii was unannounced and walked out on stage. I was like, oh my god! It was a real bonus. Oh, look at these houses. That's just gorgeous. When was the city founded? Ish.
1736.
Oh, so early 1700s.
Yeah. So coming up on Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop. Still the original building that it was built in the mid 1700s. It was the only bar in the city, and Jim Lafitte made it. Jim Lafitte was a pirate. That's why they call it the Pirate Bar. It's still to this day only lit by candlelight.
Oh wow.
They don't turn the lights on in there. They have a piano player in the back. Plays whatever song you'd like to hear.
I'll definitely
It's
have
still
to go
the
to the
original
drink
building.
there.
They said back in the day, it was all a port city, you know?
Yeah.
Said back in the day, there would be people lined up from the front door all the way down to the river to get their drink, because it'd be the only place they could get a drink.
Wow. Oh, it's a nice little tree-lined street. Oh, apple biters. Do you see the local primary school? It's an elementary, isn't it, you call them?
I think it's a private school, maybe a charter.
Oh, look at the ironwork on that place. Beautiful. Oh, shade.
So here's another building named after Andrew Jackson. It's Andrew Jackson Hotel. He actually never lived there. He didn't even stay there.
That was in the
The
2
only
weeks he
thing-
was here.
The only thing that he had anything to do with that, there used to be a place to pay fines, and he went in there and paid a ticket one time. So they named it the Andrew Jackson Hotel.
That's funny.